Hey, what's cracking, beautiful creatures? I'm Carl Asami.
I'm Max Cal, and this is Antarctic Adventure.
Yeah. Released by Konami in 1980,
1984, it says right there.
I think it came out in 1983,
Oh,
technically. But the copyright here says 1984. That threw me off. This was released for the MSX computer, which was one of the very popular computers at the time. It came out the following year in North America for the ColecoVision. So most North American players are probably familiar with that version. The hardware for the ColecoVision and MSX is very similar, though, so the games, as far as I can tell, are practically identical.
There was also one on the Famicom, though that was a Japanese-only release.
Yeah, I doubt
And
many of our players would have recognized that version.
yeah, so why are we playing a Japanese game?
Well, Max, obviously we're a little too old to have grown up with the ColecoVision, but we did pick up this game on an MSX collection for the Sega Saturn. It was one of the few Japanese import games that we have.
Yeah.
And that collection, by the way, is really awesome. It has like 30 different MSX games, and this is on that collection.
Yeah.
So this is as you can see, it's a racing platforming game.
We should probably get started right now.
Yeah,
It's actually a demo of the game.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So this is a very early example of what we would consider a racing game these days. This came out the same year as a very influential title from Sega called Turbo. That's a much faster-paced game, and it's technically a lot more impressive than this, as it used real sprite scaling. This is using sprite swapping to get the racing effect. So not as impressive, but still a pretty solidly made game, I would say. So Max, I'll let you kind of explain the basic mechanics here so I can focus on getting to the end here.
Basically this penguin who has to traverse the land of Antarctica by walking to each of these research stations
held by a variety of different countries, although I did notice prominently absent from this game is the USSR. Anyway, continue. That was my little tidbit there.
Yeah, so if you can look at the hub above the screen, you can see the rest meter, and is that kilometers or?
Yeah, we don't understand kilometers here in the United States.
Yeah, we're too stupid for the metric system. But as you can see there, Carl has already gotten to the end of the first research station, and it's from Australia.
Yeah. So this game, there's really no story to speak of. You're a penguin named Petra, and this
Penta, was it?
It might be Penta. I forget. This was Konami's first mascot, which is pretty notable. They've appeared in a huge number of titles over the years. I think most modern gamers would probably recognize them from the Parodia series, which is
I love those games.
Yeah, a series of ship shooters that kind of have a more comedic twist to them.
Yeah, it's kind of a spin-off of Gradius.
Yeah. Or Gladius, as they kind of pronounce it in Japan. So this game, I mean, you're collecting flags and fish just for the high score, and then you're trying to jump over obstacles that slow you down along the way. You can control your speed by pressing up and down on the D-pad, so that does come in handy in trying to dodge things or grab items along the way. You really do want to go as fast as possible, though.
Oh.
So yeah, not a whole lot to say about this game. Mostly just going left and right and trying not to get hit.
Yeah.
Your speed goes down to 0 when you get hit, and it takes a little bit to accelerate. So it really helps to just stay on the straight and narrow without crashing into any of these seals or all these holes.
It seems around this time period, penguins got pretty popular around Japan.
Yeah, there were a lot of penguin-based video games.
Like as you said, this character had quite a few number of games, and Hudson Soft also made quite a few games starring a penguin as well.
So yeah, there was this. Later, there was Penguin Adventure, which was the sequel to this game.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Cutting it close here.
Oh yeah,
but I made it.
You beat the timer.
Australia again.
I'm gonna try to give it a go.
Alright, go for it. So what other penguin games were there this time? Let's see.
I know a couple of years later there would be a Binary Land from Hudson Soft.
Yeah. And next week we're actually going to be checking out another penguin-based video game, Penguin Land, for the Sega Master System. We were going to do that game, but we've had some trouble getting the game to run properly as we're playing it on a power-based converter, and there's some control input problems with using that method of playing the game. So I'm going to have to get some practice in on an emulator instead.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to touch that one.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week though.
I've been missing a lot of the fish.
So what other MSX games are you a fan of, Max?
Well, ever since we got that collection back in the early 2000s, I was impressed by the early versions of Gradius, since those were also available, and there's
Salamander.
Yes, and there's Magical Tree.
I love Magical Tree.
Yeah, we gotta do a review on that game.
Yeah, Magical Tree is a very simple platforming game where you're an Indian climbing a tree, but there's something about it that I find really appealing.
I think it's the music.
Yeah.
It's really charming, like a lot of MSX games. France.
Let's see, I also really like King's Valley, and
yeah.
which is kind of an Egyptian tombed theme game, and also let's see, I know I'm forgetting something. Nightmare is a cool little vertical shooter as well with a medieval theme, fantasy medieval theme.
What's interesting about the collection on the Saturn is that the games actually run a little bit faster than they're supposed to, so when we tried playing these games on the emulator,
It was kind of a jarring experience.
Yeah, to see the games as they were.
Yeah, that I would say would be the only drawback of playing the collections on the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, they're not entirely accurate in their...
Yeah, the gameplay itself seems to be pretty accurate, and the sounds and graphics all seem to display pretty well, but the game speed is a little too fast, and for purists, you might not like that. I still think it's a very worthy title to have in your collection, though.
What they need to do is a MSX Classic. Though it is Konami of modern day, so I can't really expect them to be that smart to do that. Ooh.
So this game was rumored. It's rumored online that this game had a limited arcade release, but no one has been able to produce any arcade cabinets for this game. So right now it's just considered a rumor. But if any private collectors out there actually has this game, you should make it known, because you've got a rare piece of history there. if it does exist. At this point, I'm inclined to believe that people are misremembering, but hey, if you've got it, it's rare, so hang on to that thing if you've got it.
I'm running out. Yeah, I bumped into a lot of holes,
Yep.
so I ran out of time. I ruined your perfect game, Carl. I'm sorry.
So I think this is probably just a fine place to stop.
Yeah, sorry there wasn't really much to talk about. I even tried looking up for credits and there's nothing listed for this
Yeah,
game.
there's no the internet doesn't seem to know who worked on this game. So if anyone out there has that information, that's another thing you should probably be sharing. It's we want to know who made this.
Yeah, I really like this game. Simple but fun.
It's not the most exciting game, not a whole lot to write home about, but it is notable for being the first appearance of Konami's first mascot, and being kind of an early entry into the racing genre. Obviously the genre is kind of evolved far past what you see here, but it's kind of cute to see where everything got started. I'm Carl Asami.
I'm Max Cal, and stay tuned sometime next week for some more penguin action.
With Penguin Land. See you then.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Twin Opinion cares about your opinion, and your participation keeps us alive. So share your comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. You can also find Twin Opinion on Facebook or visit our website at asamiarrow.com.